we have an interesting shape here, which is 8 circles packaged inside this rectangular shape and encased with a wrapping. And the question is, what is the length of wrapping required to contain these 8 circles? Now, actually, they're cylinders. They're in the problem, they're described as batteries, but we can just use the shape as a two-dimensional set of circles, and this is going to be fine. What's interesting is no one expects you to know the formula for 8 circles wrapped into a rectangular shape, right? That would be silly. But you are expected to be able to reason your way through this. And I've drawn the diameter of one of the circles on there. Notice that the distance from one circle to the next, this right here, that's equal to the diameter of a circle. Because on the left, what do you have? You have a radius, and you have another radius over here. The radii are equal of these circles, so that means they add up to a diameter. Okay, and there you go. That's the diameter of one circle to here. Here's the diameter of another circle to here, another circle to here. So we have a couple diameters going on, and you could just go around the perimeter of this thing and count up how many diameters we're going to have, right? So if I do that, let's see what we get. Here's another one right here. Looks like I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 diameters. Okay, well, that's not the entire length of wrapping needed. We also have these curvy portions, which are a little weird looking at first, but I'm going to draw these lines. See if you can notice anything about it. Doesn't it look like a full circle, just with the top left corner in the top left, the top right corner in the top right, and so on? It has the circumference of a full circle here if you were to draw this. It's just that it's been broken up so that these top left corners and top right corners and everything are separated into different regions. So this is how you approach the problem. Try to figure out what it's equivalent to. I have here, you can imagine a perimeter. The length of casing that we need is equal to those 8 diameters that we talked about, plus 1 times a circumference. And it's just going to be the sum of these things. So we can turn that into a formula if you want. Let's see, 8d plus pi times d. Remember, the circumference is just pi times d. So if we know d, right, that is a 4 centimeter diameter, we can solve this thing in a pretty straightforward way. We just say, okay, that's 8 times 4 plus pi times 4, and calculator time, let's see what that is. 8 plus pi times 4. Okay, so I get something like 44.566 centimeters. Great, so that's the length you need to wrap around this thing. Now, it says rounded to the nearest centimeter. Okay, so you should think, does it make sense to round down or round up? Well, it's closer to 45, so it makes sense to round up. But even if it was 44.2, and instinct would tell you to round down, in this case I would say wrap up, because if you don't round up, you're not going to get yourself completely around the 8 batteries, right? Fortunately, it's not like there's a 45, a 44, or 43 answer. These are pretty far apart. So as long as you understand how to construct the picture and reason your way through it with diameters and circumferences, you should be fine.